Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the Kizuna vs Chopper and taking a look at the teams that we sort of built like 3 or 4 hours ago. So, this is the quick variation, the first variation to level 1. This was the team that I put together, utilizing a cerebral-based team with Milky as our friend captain. So this particular team should work fairly well. I don't really see it having too many issues, as it sort of just covers all bases. Now, if you guys don't have Milky and you are looking for a team that works quite well, this team should be the team for you. Now, if you don't have Robin and Jinbei, as I mentioned, Robin and Jinbei aren't essential here. They're kind of good for damage reduction, but some of my calculations were off in terms of how much, like, paralysis removal I needed, how much despair removal I needed, and stuff like that. And you guys will see this in this particular video. So hopefully it gives you guys an idea what the stages actually do and what you're actually looking for. So as you can see there, on turn 2, we get our 2 turns of special reverse, so I was right there. And we get our special locked with good barriers. Don't stress though, because Perispero can actually get around that easy peasy. We still get our special bind on the left hand side, and it's 5 turns of special bind. A little bit annoying, because after level 30, it did state that there was going to be more special binds. So that could be a little bit challenging for most players there, but Vivi and Rebecca will actually remove it by 6 turns, which is very, very nice. And remember, it's only the left-hand side, so you can bring someone like Sengoku. He can also remove 6 turns. The Kizuna Rare Recruit Sengoku, that's another really good option for you guys there, if you aren't using this Sengoku for the chain boundary effect. But this team has a chain boost thanks to Mr. 1 on Robin and Jinbei. Robin and Jinbei, again, just bring any chain booster. You don't really need them. They're just sort of good for cooldowns, or they're good for base stat boost. But that's variation number 1. Let's slide over to variation number 2 now. Alright, so variation number 2 is a strength composition. So a little bit annoying because the team I did put together doesn't use any quick base characters, but do remember that Milky still does have color affinity, so you can always get a lot of back-ended damage with Milky. And if you have a level 5 Straw Hats, you can hit with Straw Hats and you'll hit very, very hard. This particular Kizuna was sort of tailor-made not only for Kizuna, Tristan, and the other chick, or the other character, but it's also made for Carrot and Wanda. Carrot and Wanda do very, very well in this Kizuna, so if you have Carrot and Wanda, you can bring them as a captain, and that's going to like help you guys out drastically. They're another really good option for the first team that you guys saw there too. But this particular team's not going to have any issues whatsoever, provided you have enough despair removal. On turn 2, you get 8 turns of despair, which will go down to 5 after sockets. But this team has enough support to actually get around that. You can actually pop the Milky Special here. Milky Special will work absolutely fine. That's going to allow you guys to just give you a lot more damage on this Carrot stage, and you'll be able to easily just blitz through Carrot, no issues whatsoever. But as you can see, like, thanks to the Straw Hats, they can give you a lot of damage. Now, ideally, you want to be the Straw Hats and switch into Luffy on the next turn. That way, you'll guarantee yourself a Strength Orb, which is very, very nice, because the Strength Orb will actually allow you to get the Chain Boundary effect with Verse Ace. You'll have an Orb boost, you'll have an attack boost with Law, an extra damage boost. You can remove the 5 turns of resilience thanks to Alvida. Or you can remove it with Milky as well. We get around the block orbs thanks to Dofi. We get a chain boost and a base stat boost with Dofi. We get color affinity with Alvida. Like, this team just does so much and shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. The idea here is back-ended damage. Because of that back-ended damage, with a level 5 final tap Straw Hats, you will just absolutely decimate it as well. Don't really worry about the resilience too. Like, even if like you don't have enough turns to get around resilience, Straw Hat's final tap will actually get through it. If it's level 1, if it's level 5, it will do it for you, which is very, very nice. So that was variation number 2. Let's move on to the final variation now. Alright, so the final variation is against Dex, and the team looked a little bit like this. Now, if you have Straw Hat Crew, you can actually use Straw Hat Crew as your captain, but then you can't bring Jinbei. So you'd have to replace Jinbei with something like Stussy. Stussy should work fairly fine here, but again, it just sort of depends on what the threshold looks like after level 30. All of these teams are kind of tailor-made for up to level 30. It's subject to change, like I said before, in the prep video, as we didn't really have any of this information, and it's sort of just like guess and check as we go. Once we do hit level 30 and things start to get a roll on, we can go from there. But this is one of those Kizunas where you do kind of want to just hang on to your potions, because you do want to stockpile them for something like Co-op Kizuna moving forward. Even though Co-op Kizuna is completely ruined by modders, it is a much more beneficial spot to actually use your potions. because you can maximize your ticket growth anyway. On stage 2, you get 5 turns of paralysis, which unfortunately we can't remove with what's it called? With supports. But if you're using the Straw Hat crew, you can actually use the Bardo support. And then if you're using Luffy Sanji, you can just switch with Luffy Sanji, get around that final turn of paralysis, which actually works very, very nicely. We have an extra orb booster here, so we can actually use Milky's special on this particular stage, which is really, really nice. And that way we can just easily take out Wonder, no issues whatsoever. Once we've done that, we can move on to the final stage, and we can take on Mr. Chopper himself. We will have enough threshold removal with this particular team after level 30, but with this particular team, you do have an attack boost with Luffy and Sanji. You have an orb boost with Sengoku, color affinity and chain boost with what's his name? Kizaru. And if you actually have Robin and Jinbei are another really good option that you can replace the actual Jinbei with. That way you can give yourself a base stat booster as well. You can actually bring a Bardo support then to remove the paralysis, and then you can like look at some other options for like chain boundary effects and whatnot. If you have Croc, you can actually put Croc, like super class Croc, on Robin and Jinbei as well to give it a chain boundary support, which is actually really, really handy. But as long as you have your Sengoku on the left-hand side, you can remove the bind as well as the attack down, which is really, really nice. And from there, we're pretty much just in good stead to take this stage out. We will be over max HP, which means we get enough HP to get the 2.5 times attack boost. We have a 5 times captain with Luffy Sanji. They also have type advantage, which is really, really nice. And after we've done that, we're pretty much good to go. So make sure to use Luffy Sanji before you use Law. That way you get the Rainbow attack boost and not Law's attack boost, and you will be hunky-dory. But that's the specialized teams for each variation. I am sort of just going to play out the rest of the video now with the one team beats all, as these particular teams are a little bit janky and they don't satisfy everything. So with this particular team, I think you can actually replace Vivi and Rebecca with Sengoku. And that way you'll actually get around the 6 turns of special bind, you'll get around the 6 turns of bind, and that way you won't have to worry about the block orbs. This particular team struggled on this particular variation with block orbs. It also struggled with despair. So unfortunately, this particular team is going to have to find a way to sort of get more despair removal on it. There might be a support for Sengoku that can actually remove despair. Otherwise, you might be sort of stuck here. You can use that Milky special here, though. Milky might give you enough damage, like, with her special to get through the, like, Despair anyway, but unfortunately, this particular team was a little bit janky and might need a little bit of tweaking. But the first team that you saw, the one team that you saw in just like the previous run to this, is the team that I'm going to be using with Milky as captain. But I have sort of, like I said, I've changed stuff, like I'm using the Sengoku on the team. I think I'm running like Carrot and Wanda as my captain and Milky as a sub. And that way I can sort of just maximize my ticket growth while still getting around all those nasty defensive effects, especially in the early stages, because of what Carrot and Wanda can provide with their special, going through barriers and stuff like that, going through defensive effects. But as you guys will see here, this is where I sort of got stuck with the block orbs. On stage 2, we copped the attack down, which didn't matter anyway, because Croc could remove that from like for another previous event. I guess you could easily replace Law on this team with like a block orb manipulator, someone that could remove maybe Despair, stuff like that as well. There are some other options that this team can sort of have, but unfortunately, like I said, I didn't have much information to work off. I wanted to include it in the video anyway, just to show you guys that I did test it, and I did want to give it a fair go for you guys anyway. But it is going to wrap up the video for you guys. Hopefully you guys do a lot better in your Kizuna team building. If you guys did enjoy the video though, as always, make sure to belt the like button for me if you are new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too, but guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lates!